What up, Fantasy Goat Nation? Hey, this is a special Sunday night edition, and it's special because I got my brother from another mother back, Chris Berman. How you doing, man? And tell the ghost how to find you and all about you, all your glory.
Thanks, Rhino, for having me on tonight. Yeah, just living the dream here, man. I post on Twitter at clemke007_FF. We are currently working on Dynatize. Myself and Fantasy Nerd Boy, we're really just at the starting process of putting together the channel. And so tomorrow night we'll be posting our Mock Draft Monday 28.0 on Dynatize, and we're doing the mock draft on Dynatize. We got all the little tweaks figured out there, and man, it's a great channel. Anybody who hasn't checked it out yet, go ahead, head over there. It is the new thing for fantasy. I mean, I'm telling you, anybody who's used Dynasty Daddy, it's like Dynasty Daddy on steroids. This thing has analytics up the wazoo. I'm currently in a startup right now. It's live. Control Room is helping me with that. I also started up a redraft draft this morning, helping me out with that. So it does everything, not just that Dynasty Daddy did, but we're in the process of hopefully, doing what Sleeper does so that you actually run your leagues on there. But
and say hello to the ghost.
But for now, Nerd Boy and I are just working on pumping up the channel, so be sure to watch tomorrow night. But anyway, tonight I'm here to talk Guillotine leagues.
Yes. So say hello to Jamie and Frank, and of course the Shepherd is in the chat. Hello, everybody. And no, Ryan, we're not drafting, but they do mock drafts on Monday nights.
Yeah, tomorrow night, check it out. I'll give Rhino a link so that anybody that watches this either tomorrow or wants to come back tomorrow morning, you can come into the comment section and see the link to go join for the mock draft tomorrow night.
Before we get to the what we're here for, I got to do a little house cleaning first. Goats, we're on a highway to 1,000. Highway 1000, help us get there, man. Like, subscribe, hit the notification. Go check out the library. We got some fire-ass content in there. Right now, we're doing 3 or 4 nights a week live. Once the season starts, we're full board. Only night we don't do anything is Wednesdays. So stay tuned. Stay connected. Hit us up. Let's go, man. So explain to the ghost the basics, premises of Guillotine League, Chop League, because they're all different names, but it's all the same premises to it. Explain to the ghost what their premises are.
So the differences for Guillotine leagues?
Guillotine and Chop are same.
Yes, they're the same as far as I know. I haven't joined one of the Chopped leagues yet. I've only done the Guillotine leagues on Sleeper, and as far as I know and I understand, they're exactly the same premise.
Exactly.
Basically, you have, I don't know, whether it's 14 or 16 teams. Every week, one team's eliminated. I know there's different formats where they'll do 16 teams and then it's down to the final 3, and maybe they'll play the last 2 weeks or whatever. But
yeah,
the basis is one team gets eliminated every week, and then you have a final champion left standing.
It's interesting. This is why I didn't do one this year, but I did one Guillotine app, and it was horrible. I had the worst experience, worst time on that app. Sorry, Guillotine app. I just be honest. Then last year we did it on the Sleeper app. It was nice, and both years I freaking finished top 3.
Nice.
And we'll get to why I think I finished the top 3.
Takes a lot of work for sure.
It takes a lot of work. So what's like the basic roster size for one?
Well, the one I run is just a 14-teamer, and we only have, I think it's start 10. I think it was start 12, actually. Start 12, but we only had 4 bench. So the reason for that is because, well, I mean, you don't really need much of a bench here in a Guillotine league. By the time you get to week, 6 is the first week of buys.
Mm-hmm.
by the time you get to week 6, 5 teams have already been eliminated. That means that if you have a 16-man roster, 5 times 16, that's what, carry the 3. 80 players have been dumped back into the pool already. So you've got at least 5 or 6 from each team that's definitely usable, right? So that you're getting 30 to 40 players thrown back into the pool by week 6 by the time the first bye rolls around. And any team from that's still remaining should have grabbed 1 or 2 players off of those rosters at that point. So we didn't really go over how you obtain those players, and that's the most fun part of Guillotine leagues is the waiver run and then the days leading up to the weekend's matchups. Because for me, the reason I love Guillotine leagues is like it feels like it's a playoff game every week.
It is.
Like you just have to survive. The difference is you don't finish last. So yes, roster construction is of the utmost importance, but it's definitely different, especially different from the way I usually play. I like to stack up players, quarterbacks, wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends. I like to stack up a lot, but that's I don't know if we want to get to the do's and don'ts yet. We'll follow your roster sheet, but that's a no-no. Stacking.
So what is the best strategy? Because what happens is, like the 2 leagues I was in, we had $1,000 worth of fab. Sure. And one thing that I've seen happen is people blow through a fab the first 3 weeks. Yeah. Instead of waiting it out. What's the best strategy for using your fab? And how do you have do you do percentages for like so much percentage for a quarterback for like if it's a Josh Allen or you know what I mean? Is there how do you?
Well, it depends how you've constructed your roster, right? So I like to draft so that I've left one position pretty weak, okay? Because I know that after week 1, I can go after that position, right? And whoever loses probably has 1, maybe 2 players from that position in particular, and I like to keep that at either the quarterback or tight end position because you can wait. Right? You can wait on quarterback in your draft and grab a decent quarterback in round 10, 11. You could grab my boy Baker Mayfield late, right? And he might not even be a starter in a regular Guillotine league, like a 14-man Guillotine league, a 16-man league. He probably would be right on the cusp there. But my point is that somebody like Baker Mayfield, he can get you by any week, right? You don't have to, pay up for a Josh Allen or even the next tier like Drake May, Lamar Jackson. You can be fine waiting till round 8 and grabbing Justin Herbert or something like that. Load up on the running backs, wide receivers early. That's my opinion. And then grab a tight end later too. Or if you want to, I would not grab high on quarterback and tight end. That would be a definite no-no. If you're going to go high on one of the onesie positions, don't go high on the other. But ideally, I think you just wait on both positions because both positions are very deep this season, and you can definitely get by with, say, a Baker Mayfield and a Hunter Henry, 2 of my favorite guys, late. And then use your fab dollars later to up tier at that position. All right.
Yeah, when I've done it, I've done heavy one stud running back, and then heavy wide receiver. And then I'll get like a second tier running back, and then probably a second tier tight end, and the quarterback that way. But what I've done, what I think I've gone wrong is going through my fab money too quick. Seeing that one star, that one Josh Allen, he's gone. And then loading up and spending too much money on that person when if I just sat back, I could have gotten a Matthew Stafford the next week or something like that.
Yeah. One thing that I definitely do is look at the projections for the week, right? And if you're sitting on top of the league as one of the top 2 or 3 projected scorers week 1, you don't have to be one of the top 2 or 3 projected scorers.
Right.
You're fine if you're sitting somewhere between 6 and 10, right? So what you can do then is look at some of your opponents and see, hey, maybe they're weak at wide receiver and you're looking pretty good at wide receiver, right? So you could trade, say, a Devonta Smith for Michael Pittman and $125 in fab. That is a way that I use to gain fab. And somebody like Michael Pittman, Jacoby Myers, Chris Godwin, those are great guys for the end of your starting lineups in Guillotine, at least early on. Later on, I mean, you should see these teams. These teams are goon squads by the end of this Guillotine league. I mean, they're by week 10, everybody's got a stacked lineup.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a matter of which superstars you're starting correctly. But early on, those mid-range guys that are consistent, like I said, like a Jacoby Myers, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, those types that just get you 10 points. Those are the kind of guys you want to be drafting instead of the high upside, low floor guys like a Travis Hunter or a Quentin Johnston, right? Those guys are very volatile and they're going to get you donuts some weeks, even though other weeks they might get you 25.
Yeah.
That's great, but it's not best ball unless you're playing in a best ball guillotine. I don't know. I haven't played in a best ball guillotine yet.
Is there a best ball?
I don't know. I don't think so. So that's the point. I think that you just want to draft players that get volume, get touches, right? At running back, you're okay with the Jalen Warrens of the world, Ramondre Stevensons. Those guys are fine at the bottom of your bench. Yes, you want one or two hammers at running back. And this year, it's definitely, for me at least, I think it's optimal to get 2 stud running backs in the first 3 rounds, just the way volume lines up. I mean, I'm not saying don't draft any wide receivers. You definitely can get one hero wide receiver the first 3 rounds, I would say. But that's kind of how I played it, and I've liked the way that my builds look at the end in most redraft leagues this year.
Bob Hope says, I don't want any Falcons or Panthers players for my fantasy. So you don't want Bijan? You don't want Kyle Pitts? You don't want Drake London? Nah, you'll
in guillotine leagues, that's actually a good point. In guillotine leagues, I looked at a chart I saw the other week with it had the Vegas lines, Vegas projections for top offenses this year, right? And so there were 3 AFC teams. It was the Bengals, Ravens, and was it the Chargers?
Probably Chargers.
I think it was the Chargers. It was the Chargers or Jaguars, I think. No, it was the Bills. So there were 3 teams projected by Vegas over 26 a game. There were another 5 projected over, I think it was 25 and a half. And then there were 2 more, whatever. There were 10 total that were projected over 25 a game, roughly. So those are the 10 teams that Vegas at least seems
right
to think are the top offenses in the league. And those are the type of teams that you want to be grabbing players from the NFC. NFC had 7 teams. So it was like Seattle, San Francisco,
the
Rams, all 3 of those from the West. Then there were 3 from the North as well. The Packers, the Bears, and the Lions, all in there in that mix. And then the Cowboys as well. So Cowboys and Bengals always get lumped together because their defenses suck, but their offenses are great. That's an ideal team to be grabbing fantasy players from because they're going to run a bunch of plays. Their defense is going to get on the field and then give up points and then get off the field real quick so the offense gets the ball back, right? Now the Ravens have a new offensive coordinator,
Dakin Doyle.
Declan Doyle, and I think they're going to only benefit from it. I can't see them going backwards because of him coming in.
Oh my! I think he's going to unleash. He's going to unleash Zay Flowers. He's going to unleash Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I would think, Lamar's got a safe floor with his rushing.
Mhm.
Zay Flowers, high volume and targets, and of course King Henry. What? No, don't bet against King Henry. All right. The Bengals have a nice consolidated volume with their offensive players. Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar. Same with the Cowboys.
Right.
The Cowboys, the top 2 wide receivers. You can even throw Ferguson in there. I know a lot of people are kind of down on Ferguson because they're like, oh, he only got his points when CD was out last year. And that's not true. Okay. No. Ferguson's still going to get 90 to 100 targets, and he's a good red zone threat, regardless of if Pickens and CD are in there. It's just hard to guard all 3 of the guys.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I still like Ferguson. But yeah, any of those 10 teams, those top 10 teams that we just mentioned, those are ideal guys, especially for guillotine leagues, to jump in. Because if you take a team like the Falcons, right? You mentioned Drake London, right? Yeah. If they go up against a team like the Broncos and Patrick Surtain is on Drake London, well, Drake London could get shut out that week. All right. Whereas the Bengals, it's much harder to shut out somebody like Jamar Chase because you've got T. Higgins on the other side too, right? So that's what I'm getting at. I mean, I know you're not drafting Jamar Chase or Drake London. I guess a better example would be Drake London or Pickens, right? I would actually prefer Pickens in a guillotine league versus Drake London. So that's one that just came up on the top of my head right there. So
what up, Rock? How you doing, brother? Man, appreciate you being on. All right, Jamie. Jamie says, let's go balls deep, do an IDP combo best ball guillotine league.
Oh man, no, I don't need to get IDP in the guillotine. I love me some IDP leagues. We know that, but man,
that'd be rough, man. I think I'm telling people now I'm tapped out on leagues. People are still sending me startups, and it's like I'm tapped out. I'm good.
I know. We'll get it set up on Dynatize. The first 53-man, 11 offense, 11 defense, best ball guillotine league.
All right, we'll work on that for
2027.
Yeah,
not enough time for this year.
No. All right, got a question here from Frozen Gaming 6701. Hey, brother, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I'm in a 12-team half PPR 2-keeper league. I have Jamar Chase and Rice as my keepers. I have back-to-back picks. Best available is AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Jeremiah Love, and Drake London. Which 2? Chase Brown for sure.
Half PPR. And it's a 2-player keeper league.
Yeah. So he's keeping Jamar Chase and Rice.
Yeah, if you're keeping Chase and Rice, man, I'm leaning Chase Brown and Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, same here.
Go that way. I mean, I like Drake London and all, but I mean, Love I don't care about this high ankle sprain. Any league where you can have the opportunity to potentially keep a dude that could be a top 3 running back. I mean, We'll see how well he does this rookie season. But he does have the talent that could get him into that Gibbs Bijan discussion. And for me, he's my dynasty running back 3.
Yeah, and with Chase Brown, he could easily finish RB1.
I don't know about 1, but he could finish top 5. That's more realistic. I understand the excitement, though, for sure, Rhino. I hear you. Yes. He will finish as an RB1. Yeah. Top 12 I'm in on for sure. But I did just take Chase Brown in the redraft I did this morning at the 211. So I took him over. I picked him over Hampton, and who else did I pick him over? Saquon. I took Chase Brown.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. So what are your like do's and don'ts? Basic do's and don'ts for people that are just starting out.
Yeah, so I think we'll start with the don'ts because that is the easiest thing to avoid, right? So right off the bat, you can like take your cheat sheet or whatever and kind of cross some names off right away, right? So I'm not necessarily saying names, but it's more a generalization of things with rookies. Okay.
Okay.
When you're drafting for a guillotine league, you don't know what to expect week 1. Okay. I try to look at maybe the first 4 weeks, weeks 1 to 4. I know there is some guillotine leagues that actually let everybody play for the first 3 weeks. And then whoever has the lowest amount of points after 3 weeks gets eliminated. And then they start doing the elimination every week. But I think the majority of them start right away, week 1, chopping. Yep. But anyway, I draft for the first month of the year. That's how I look at it. Because, yeah, of course, I think I'm going to advance. I mean, everybody should have a team that's decent enough to advance. It's just who gets unlucky week 1. I mean, last year it was the dude who had Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase. They had a shitty week 1, the Bengals, and that's what happens, right? So, but the major do's and don'ts first priority, I would say, is avoid the rookies. Okay. Second of all, avoid the injured players. Okay. Don't be grabbing, Brandon Ayuk. Okay. No reason. All right. But there's other guys who are banged up right now.
Right.
Okay. That you might want to just avoid. Okay. I like George Kittle for this season, but for a guillotine league, I'd probably pass. Okay. Even Tucker Kraft. I love Tucker Kraft for this season, even coming off of an ACL, because he's got a high ceiling at tight end. But again, he's going to take a little bit of time to get going this year, right? Mike Evans already banged up. I mean, I'm talking about the Niners, but here it's CMC is another one. Like, just get a different guy. You can draft JSN or Amon-Ra St. Brown if you have the 5th pick. Don't go so risky on McCaffrey. Wait and see if McCaffrey's staying healthy. Eventually, that guy hopefully gets knocked out, and then you can go buy McCaffrey later on with your fab. So that would be a major thing. Anybody with any kind of injuries, even like Daniel Jones, right? He's been cleared and everything. Right. But who knows how good he really looks. Kyler Murray, another high risk, high reward type player, I'd probably avoid in a guillotine league. I'd rather take Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford for sure. Stafford in a redraft league is incredibly underpriced.
Yes,
incredibly underpriced. Like, he should be a top 5 or 6 player. Not player overall, but top 5 or 6 quarterback. Yet he's going right in the middle, right? You can get him, I don't know, quarterback 12-ish, somewhere around there, 10 to 12. So he's a solid play. No back issues this offseason. So we're looking good there, right, Rhino?
No, yes, we are.
Yeah. So that would be a major thing. Anybody with flags, Jeremiah Love, right? Cardinals are being the Cardinals and decided to give him 25 snaps last night, and boom, he gets a high ankle sprain. So
there was no need for that. None.
Cross him off your board for a guillotine league. That's just what I'm saying. And I mean, it makes it a lot easier to draft when you start crossing off certain players. And this is not Dynasty. This is not your normal redraft league where you can stash players. All right. The only kinds of stashes I would make, go by the number of starters you have. And then once you get your starting lineup for week 1 set, the last 3-4 bench spots, however many bench spots you get, just draft all handcuffs at running back.
Oh.
Because they can, boom, jump up in value immediately with one injury. And all of a sudden, you can make a sale and scoop up some free fab, or you can just start that guy,
right,
and sell your actual better running back. Like, let's say you have, I don't know, you have Chase Brown, right? But Josh Jacobs goes down for the season, and you have Marshawn Lloyd. Well, right. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best example. Maybe I would say Isaiah Pacheco would be a better example. He's somebody that I think would get more of the workload if there was an injury to the top guy. Brian Robinson probably get a high end. So take a look at those top 5 or 6 handcuffs, especially. Those would be great guys to get as your first guys on the bench, because again, your bench players, as you move on into weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those bench players, those are going to be the first guys you cut.
See, I think that's where I've gone wrong, because a lot of the leagues I've done, the 2 leagues I've done one quarterback, then I got my quarterback 2, so I can interchange them. And I guess that's probably a waste of a spot.
You don't even really need a quarterback 2. You could probably pick them up off of waivers.
Yeah.
So just take a super high end, a high ceiling option where it just takes one injury and boom, this guy's a top 20 running back for the next week. If he's in a good offense like Pacheco, I mean, think about it. If Gibbs goes down week 1 and Pacheco's in there for the whole season on the Lions offense, again, a top 10 projected offense, like Pacheco is going to be at least a top 15 running back, if not a top 10 running back projected every week, So that would be one of my recommendations. So don't draft guys on your bench that you feel like, oh, you're going to be switching in and out back and forth. That's not the way to play your bench. The way I try to play my bench is buying guys that I can sell for fab, so that I can bank up that fab and go and get the superstars.
Yeah, because you need fab. Now, let me ask you a question. We look at bye weeks. So if you have one player that's like whatever, I'll say Ibuka, and then another, and then you see like a Nico Collins.
Yeah.
But one has a bye week in week 11. The other one has a bye week in week 6. Are you going to look at the bye weeks and go off that too?
That's a great point. And I agree there. I would probably go Nico Collins if that was the case with how those 2 were set up with their buys. Guys in a similar tier, you can use that as a tiebreaker for sure. Yeah, because I think it's week 6 is the first bye week. I would try to avoid players if you can in the early buys, week 6, 7, and 8. I would probably try to avoid, or just
week 8.
You could write down a list of the teams of players that are having buys in week 8 or later, because it probably will split your pool in half, and again help make drafting a lot easier.
Yeah, I think week 8 and week 11 are the 2 heavy hitters with 6 teams on bye this year.
6 teams on bye is rough.
That is, it's extremely rough. How important is another scoring?
Well, scoring is the first thing you got to look at. I mean, is there a tight end premium? Is it just 0.5? Is it 0.75? Is it a full point premium? Is there first down bonuses, right? Is it a half point of first down? Is it a full point of first down? Those tend to benefit the running backs then, right? Is the quarterback touchdown passes 6, or is it just 4? Maybe it's 5, right? Those are other things to look at, because Stafford obviously is way more valuable in a 6 point. Same with Jared Goff, similar thing. Dak Prescott, same thing, right? They don't run hardly at all. Dak used to run, but not anymore. He's just back there slinging it. And so those are huge things. I mean, Stafford was the QB1 in some leagues last year in some formats. So it's a huge difference, really. And that bodes into, how high you want to rank somebody like Josh Allen and the high end quarterbacks versus those middle of the road quarterbacks, which again, I would suggest just leaning on one of those middle of the road quarterbacks, but don't go so far down that you get stuck with, like I said, with Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones. That's a little too risky. Yeah, for the first few weeks.
What are the positions that you favor the most? I would think now if you look at the score and it's like you get a 0.5 for first down, I think I'd go running back heavy. And then maybe get wide receivers that are going to be the possession wide receivers. Like the Jaden Higgins, the guys like that.
Right. I would avoid a Jaden Higgins. I would rather take a Wandell Robinson.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay. Somebody who has a high target share. You don't want to be grabbing the guys who are just downfield threats. So Jamison Williams would kind of be lowered, and I would rather have like a Jalen Waddle this year, who I project to have a high target volume with Denver, right? Being the one going there. That's an offense who threw more than anybody else last season, right? So that they're just by the sheer numbers, Jalen Waddle is going to get a high target amount this year. So those are things to avoid. Somebody like Christian Watson is a little tricky because, you know, in the past he was just a deep ball dandy.
Right.
But now the Packers have consolidated their wide receiver room, and I think Watson is in line for a few more intermediate route types. And so I think Watson is a little sneakier this year.
That whole wide receiver
feel a little more confident drafting. Parker Washington, I'd still take Parker Washington over. Yeah, in that range. Yeah.
Are you going to go after running backs or receiving threats too, more than just?
Yeah, it helps. Like later on, especially, you know, like I'm not worried about Derrick Henry not catching passes.
No.
Okay? But as it gets later on in your draft, then yeah, Jalen Warren, I really, how can you not be excited about Aaron Rodgers' favorite dump off valve, right? With Kenny Gainwell leaving town, it's now going to be Jalen Warren. So in this kind of format, I would definitely lean more Jalen Warren than Rico Dowdle. In most formats, I see them both as pretty even, actually. And therefore, I'm fine with taking Rico Dowdle because he's usually going a round or two later. But in this kind of format, yeah, I would be more in on Jalen Warren. That brings up another when you get into committees, right? TreVeyon Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. Like, I will take Ramondre all day at cost in a format like this. TreVeyon is somebody that I'm super excited about for this season, and by the end of the year definitely could just have the whole backfield. But weeks 1 through 4, you're probably looking at split touches, if not Ramondre out touching him. So yeah, TreVeyon's not somebody that's going to be worth the cost, not worth the price of admission in a Guillotine league. Are you
staying away from backfields like the Jaguars backfield too?
Yeah, definitely. I've been out on Bashul Tutin as much as I drafted him last offseason in the second round of our rookie drafts. Like, he was my most owned player literally in Dynasty because I had a lot of mid to late seconds. Right. But Bashul Tutin it's just so risky here with Bashul Tutin and Chris Rodriguez. Rodriguez, not much of a receiving threat. He has less than 10 catches in his whole career. But at the same time, the Jaguars simply do not throw to their running backs that often.
And if they do, numbers. Allen. They've already said that. They're going.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking up LaQuinton Allen, but even him, I don't know that he's getting many catches. Trevor Lawrence just didn't dump off to the running backs. You don't have to when you have 4 good wide receivers like he does and a good tight end. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to dump it off. So if the O-line keeps rolling, the only receptions those guys are going to get are designed screens, those kinds of looks. And so, yeah, Tutin for me, though I see the talent, 100% the talent is there. There's also just too many question marks. You've got a good offense that's going to score points, but I don't know if it's going to be Chris Rodriguez that runs the ball into the end zone.
Well, it could be. He played Jamal Williams' role, you know?
Right. Exactly. He could be the Jamal Williams in that offense. And so Tutin then is going to be left on the side. And unfortunately, he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay. No. So as much as I'm excited about Tutin and his talent, like, I didn't dump all of my shares that I had of him. At the same time, I'm very, very cautiously optimistic about him. And yes, I've traded away a few of the shares on the hype that's just exploded on him. And now with camp started, it's starting to go back the other way
Yep.
with Tootin, and that's probably a backfield I'd kind of just avoid.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Are you avoiding the Broncos backfield too?
Yeah, that'd be one too in a guillotine league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless you're getting to your bench spot, right? Then I'd be fine taking Jonah Coleman. Okay.
Would you take him over RJ Harvey?
I probably wouldn't draft RJ Harvey. So again, it depends how deep your bench is, but yeah, that's kind of one that I'm just kind of avoiding. And it's tough to do that because the Broncos have one of the best offensive lines in the league, right? So I'm not completely out on Dobbins, okay, for a guillotine league.
No.
Because Dobbins is going to get the rock.
Yep.
We know what he's going to do. As long as he's healthy, we know he's the first and second down grinder. He's going to be the goal line guy, right? So you can count on a good 12 to 15 carries and possibly 1 or 2 looks inside the 5-yard line each week. And so that I like in the 10th round, right? So I would definitely be taking Dobbins over RJ Harvey. That's
Jamie only drafted RJ Harvey in one like best ball out of 300.
Well, RJ Harvey's fine in best ball.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not bad. No, he's not bad in best ball. That's actually the format you want him. You don't want him in a lineup league.
No.
Trust me.
No, I have him. I have him on one of the orphan teams. One of the orphan teams I picked up this year. I have him and Pollard are my two running backs.
Now, Tony Pollard, I don't mind this year. Titans are a sneaky offense that can only improve from last year, and who knows how much they improve. But even if they just improve from, I don't know if they were 30th, 31st, or 32nd, but even if they just incrementally improve to like the 22nd or 23rd best offense this season, you're going to see. I mean, Tony Pollard ran for 1,000 yards last year.
He does what he does, and he does it quietly.
Now, if he just does that, but increases his touchdowns by 20%, right? Just say he adds 2 or 3 or 4 more touchdowns to his total. Like, you're looking at a very consistent running back too. And as long as he's healthy, he's going to be the guy there. I mean, Nick Singleton's got talent, and Tajay Spears we've been talking about forever. And even though he's got no ACL or whatever.
No, he's got old man.
Unless Pollard gets hurt, those two guys don't mean anything in fantasy.
No. True. What's the best advice you can give to someone playing for the first time?
Well, look into it as a fun adventure for your first try. Okay, keep your expectations low.
Yeah,
keep your expectations low.
That's high golf right there. No expectations.
Yes. Enjoy the moment. The moment is that every week is a playoff game. Just don't finish last. Right. So like you learned, Rhino, great advice. Don't blow all your fab. Do not blow all your fab. Trust me. After week 1, there's going to be plenty of guys available. Like a whole team is being thrown back into the mix. Their 7th or 8th best players are going to be like Kyle Pitts and Josh Downs and Jalen Waddle. They're going to be thrown into the pool too, not just Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor because he only ran for 30 yards week 1 and got stuffed, and that's why they lost. Look at those mid-range guys and get them cheap. That will help the mid to back end part of your starting lineup.
Fire advice right there.
Yeah,
because they get you points, and they're
get you points.
There's nothing wrong with steady Eddie dudes playing.
Right, exactly. If you can improve week 1 from starting Hunter Henry to getting Kyle Pitts onto your team, that looks a lot better. If you're going from Wan'Dale Robinson to Jalen Waddle in your starting lineup, that's better. Okay.
Yeah. I like that. That's
little increments. Don't make that big splash move until October. Honestly, that's really, because if you really want to win,
Mhm.
and it's some guillotine leagues are just like winner take all too.
Yeah.
So if you want to win, you have to have that fab late in the year. You
Yeah.
have to
Yes,
have it.
yes, you do. Trust me, because
You have to have
otherwise,
it.
otherwise, if you're looking at the empty fab, it will be 0, 0, 0. You'll
If you
see
ain't first, you're last. That's right, Jamie.
all these studs and the waivers, and you won't be able to do shit until after everybody else gets their waivers. Then go back and maybe you might get
Right.
lucky. Jamie, you're right,
And
man. If you
and
ain't first, you're
there's
last.
that point. I mean, late in the year when there's only 4 or 5 teams left, yeah, there's going to be really good players all over the place on waivers. So but then it comes down to matchups, and you definitely want that running back that's sitting on waivers and is going up against the Bucks Civ run defense or whatever, because Vita Vea is out. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be playing matchups that last
Right.
month in a guillotine league. It all comes down to matchups. Like whoever the Bengals are going up against, that's who you know what I mean? You want guys on that opponent.
It's funny because I've seen people just blow their wads within the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, they might look good for a week or two, but
Yeah.
remember, you're not trying to finish first or second every week. You can go 10 weeks in a row finishing 6th or 7th or 8th place. And you're still alive.
And then what they'll do is they'll make that big splash, but then they'll draw somebody like Josh Downs, or I'll just say Jaden Higgins because I love Jaden Higgins, or Devontae Adams, because they get that splash. You can end up getting that guy for free or pennies on the dollar, and he can actually help you get to the promised land better than the Ibuka or the star player they got.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
again, don't be afraid to trade your star players early on, those early picks, because there's not a whole lot of trading that goes on in these drafts.
No, I didn't even know there's trades.
Right. There's not going to be much trading. Mm-hmm. But if you get, say, Emeka Egbuka in the 3rd or 4th round, right? Well, Egbuka, is he really any different than Jalen Waddle in the 5th or 6th round? No. So if you get $25 on top of that, that's a good deal. That's an extra $25 that you didn't have. So yeah, those little incremental deals will work. Definitely will help you.
All right. This is this football question for you.
Yeah.
How are the Buccaneers wide receivers? What's the tier for them, do you think? Because you're the Buccaneers dude.
What's the tier?
Yeah. Who do you think is wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3?
Well, Egbuka in the Zach Robinson offense, Egbuka is playing the Z position, meaning he's going to be the one moving around the most, right? Godwin's going to be in the Y role, and so he's going to be set up for that underneath route all day long, and for his screen, his patented screen plays. And then if McMillan is healthy, he'll start at the X, but if he's not, then it's going to be Ted Hurst. And from what we've seen so far in camp, and he caught 2 passes for 19 yards, should have had a touchdown, but Caleb Beluzik, I don't even know his name, our 3rd string quarterback, who's probably going to, I think Jalen Daniels will jump over him. Jalen Daniels technically listed as the 4th string, but I think Jalen Daniels has way more talent. It's just a matter of whether we want to try and develop that type of quarterback.
Right.
But I think it goes. Egbuka could get up to 150 targets in this offense. Like, this is the offense where Cooper Kupp made his money.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And that's what Zach Robinson wants Egbuka to be. Now, me personally, I don't see Egbuka as that wide receiver for our franchise, like long term. Egbuka for me is a really good high end wide receiver too. Like your old school Reggie Wayne, remember, right?
Right.
Your old school Torrey Holt to Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce was the guy, right? Torrey Holt was able to, beat people with his speed. Yeah. They both put up pretty good numbers, but Chris Godwin to Mike Evans, right? So Egbuka might have 1 or 2 huge seasons, but as far as being a consistent guy that you could count on for 1,200 plus yards a year, that's not what I foresee Egbuka being. Egbuka is somebody who could be a steady 75, 80 catches for 1,000 yards, maybe a little bit more, 7 or 8 touchdowns, that type of receiver that falls into the T. Higgins realm. You know, that's the kind of receiver I see him. So whether it's Teddy Hurst that develops into the new Mike Evans, or it's somebody that we draft next year or some free agent, I don't know. But I think Egbuka, that's really what he is ultimately. And so that's why I haven't like aggressively gone out and bought him in Dynasty. If I had him, fine, I'm great with it. But I'm not head over heels about him becoming the next JSN this season. That's, I guess, where I'm at with the Bucs wide receivers. So Chris Godwin definitely is a sneaky player, because as long as he's healthy, he will still see his share of volume. When he's on the field, he knows how to get open. We all saw Keenan Allen steal a bunch of targets from from QJ and Lad McConkey last year.
Yeah.
And that's what Godwin's going to do. If he's out on the field, he's going to be stealing those looks from Egbuka and from McMillan and Hurst. And so, yeah, Godwin's definitely a nice cheap buy right now, as long as he's healthy, because you can get him for almost free.
Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate coming on. You're always welcome on the Fantasy Goats.
I know we love having you on our shows too.
You're one of the brilliant minds. You're one of the brilliant minds that I kind of look into or look at to get advice from and stuff. So I appreciate all your content. I appreciate everything, not only you, but the Nerd Boy from Dynasty Degens do. You guys are top-notch people, man, and keep on killing it, man. Goats, please, one more time, please like and subscribe. We're on a highway to 1,000. We want to try to get there. We want to try to get there by mid-season, let's say. And who knows what will happen? Maybe I'll
end of September.
Maybe I'll break out in my rap. You know, break out my old my ultra ego.
Do another ice bucket challenge, Rhino.
Maybe,
and throw a rap in at the end.
Yeah, and please check out our content this week. We'll be doing our flag plans for wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and tight ends. And I will take the week off next week from any kind of content show. But on the 28th, I'll be having on the Debbie Dojos and Frank Pathrow. We're going to be doing a college preview show. So
Frankie.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Jump in. And always, man, be the difference, make difference. Stay blessed, everybody. Good night.